So
We've had some interesting feedback about it.
you had feedback about the paper?
No, well.
At the eHeal conference in Rotterdam, Ellie and I hosted a workshop on updating reviews. In this video, I'll shortly summarize the workshop and then discuss with Ellie what we have learned. A systematic review update is a new edition of a published systematic review with changes that can include new data, new methods, or new analysis to the previous edition. Obviously, an update also means that we information specialists or the researchers themselves have to rerun the searches across the databases. Often we also rerun the searches shortly before submission of an article so that we don't miss out on the latest research.
We wanted to ask the wonderful European information specialists and librarians in the room what they actually do.
We had some questions about how to proceed for these updates that we discussed with our colleagues in Rotterdam. These questions were discussed in small groups and the possible solutions or answers evaluated according to the method of rose, thorn, bud. Rose being what we liked about it, thorn being things to watch out for, and buds being potential opportunities to grow the idea. We have summarized the workshop findings in a recently published article in the Journal of eHeal, which I'll link down below. Now, our questions. How do you proceed when updating your own research versus someone else's? Well, it does not matter who did the original search. Whether a search is being updated using the same search string or with changes depends on the quality of the original search and whether the topic is still exactly the same. What would you do differently if you decided to introduce changes compared to your previous search strategy than if you reran an unchanged strategy? We discussed that it is important to make changes when necessary and to report them.
I've been given other people's search strategies by researchers, and they obviously didn't understand what the process involved, and the search strategies were bad, but I've rerun them anyway. I wasn't necessarily even acknowledged on the final paper, which I was a little bit unhappy about at the time, but now I'm kind of relieved about. So nowadays, yes, I would be a lot more confident and assertive in saying, this is a bad search strategy, let me improve it, and then you'll have a better product. This will be much better science. This will be a more rigorous methodology.
Would you follow the same procedure if you updated a search after a few months before submission of the manuscript compared to after a few years? Yes, we would follow the same procedure as described in our article.
I was also surprised like how much work people do trying to find out if there are new index terms, and I would never do that. I would just take the ones that I have, and if there's a mistake, I would correct it, but I would not look up if there has been any mesh term added in the meantime or something like that.
I need to do that more frequently. I do need to check, be more thorough, at least in one database. I think when I'm translating the M-based search strategies, I will check the index terms. I can't think of the example right now, but I've been updating search strategies that I created in late 2019 about various infectious diseases, and the headings have changed.
Do you prefer to search from a certain date on or to rerun the search over the full time period? The search should be rerun over the full time period and deduplicated against the original search. Down below you find articles that might help with this task, since deduplication takes time and can be made easier or even automated. Ellie and I then had a discussion on Zoom, looking back at these findings.
My main takeaway was that you should always improve your strategy if possible, and not just rerun it because it's comfortable and easy. But if you find something that you can improve it and document it. And that was my main takeaway. Have you been able to use anything that we have discussed in the workshop?
I've rerun my searches from the full-time period. I've stopped rerunning them from last year to this year. And I have corrected my search strategies at all possible points.
Nothing popped up where I thought that, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong all my life. So it was always like, okay, I could do this a bit better or that. But it was also reassuring.
I think the purpose of all of the workshops that I've run at eHeal conferences about failure and well, a conference workshop I ran about imposter syndrome. It's to reassure everyone in the room that failure is okay. Failure is wonderful. We learn from our failures. And everyone has imposter syndrome. If you don't, you might be a bit weird, or you should have imposter syndrome. No, everyone suffers from imposter syndrome, and we can support each other with that. Yes. And I like the fact that there was a lot of discussion during our workshop. Every single group was using all of the time